Hey guys, Movie Fan 2002 here, and this is because we are near the end of the year, and just recently, Puss in Boots: The Last Wish just came out. I thought it would be a good time today for me to give you guys my ranking of all the DreamWorks animated films. Now, before I get into the ranking, allow me to show you like a little brief history on DreamWorks. See, DreamWorks was founded by Jeffrey Katzenberg, David Geffen, and Steven Spielberg. Now, Jeffrey Katzenberg was once a man who worked at Disney, along with Michael Eisner and Frank Wells. And he did help out on films like The Little Mermaid, Beauty and the Beast, Aladdin, all like those classic films. However, during the production of The Lion King, Frank Wells passed away in a helicopter crash on Easter of 1994.
While everyone was heartbroken at the loss, Jeffrey Katzenberg also saw this as an opportunity. He always wanted to be Michael Eisner's second-in-command and have Wells' position. The only problem was that Eisner was always hesitant about the idea. But now that Frank was out of the picture, Jeffrey was ready to do whatever it took to get that president position. And when going on press tours talking about the movie, not only was he promoting the picture, but he was also promoting himself to have the press portray him as if he was the next Walt Disney. Now, his relationship with Eisner and Roy E. Disney was already sour at that point, but his promotional stunts with The Lion King were the final straw for them.
What were you thinking out there, Jeffrey? I don't understand why you have to push everybody against the wall to get that president job when Frank didn't even die that long ago. Don't you even care that he's gone? You know, I could have made you president if you waited a little longer. But now the last person I want to give this position is to an egotistical, stressful, and greedy individual like you. Now don't ever ask me for the job again. Get back to work!
When Michael made it clear that he would never get the job, even if he was promised to in the past, Jeffrey knew that he had no future at Disney, and not long after The Lion King's release, he resigned and sued the company for money he was owed at the time.
You haven't seen the last of me! You'll pay for this! You'll all pay!
Thus leading to the creation of DreamWorks Animation, where they released so many movies starting since 1988, and they're still going to this day. And this is going to be the ranking of all 43 DreamWorks animated films, so I think we should quit wasting any time and get started. Okay, in last place is The Boss Baby. Who even asked for this? I mean, seriously, who even asked for this? A movie with Alec Baldwin as a baby? Seriously, he looks like Donald Trump. No, I don't like that. It's just not good. I mean, the animation's just way too crazy and cartoony, although it does have its moments. And outside of Alec Baldwin's performance, like, the action's not that really good. Like, there's not really that many memorable moments. Like, there's nothing really that's spectacular about it. Like, it's just really awful. I just don't like it. It shouldn't have happened. And why did it get nominated for Best Animated Feature at the Oscars? I have no fucking idea. Number 42, Trolls. Thank goodness this one didn't get nominated for Best Animated Feature at the Oscars. I can get why, like, there's some people who like this film. I mean, kids will obviously like this one, especially like little girls and babies, but no, just no. I mean, I get what they're trying to do. I mean, the animation's very nice and colorful, and maybe Can't Stop the Feeling is kind of catchy, but that's kind of it. That's all what this film has. The rest is just like a 90-minute commercial just to sell toys, and it's just no, it's just boring. It's just really boring, and I don't like it. Yeah. Number 40 is The Boss Baby Family Business. Now, a semi-improvement of last time, but it's still terrible. I mean, it is still a Boss Baby sequel. I mean, it's still has the crazy animation that's still way too zany. Like, the characters are not really that interesting. Like, there's not that many memorable moments here and there. And honestly, I just forgot about it. And considering that this was released around the same time as other movies that came out last year, I was just like, what the? Oh, okay. Heck, this even was released a few weeks after another DreamWorks film that'll be brought up in a little bit. Okay, number 40 is Shark Tale. Okay, as a kid, I really did like this film. I thought because I was a lot younger back then, but now as I got older, like this definitely pales in comparison to the other DreamWorks film that came out that year. But it was like, yeah, of course. There are some really mean-spirited moments. Like there's not, like some of the puns are terrible, and like the animation. Well, I guess it tries in some cases, but it just does look kind of unfinished. And there's just way too many unnecessary dialogues. However, there is one silver lining to this. The movie, there actually are times when the movie actually can be really funny. I'm not joking. Sure, yes, the fish puns are terrible, but the actual good jokes, they are really funny. I'm not joking. Like, when the movie's actually funny, it's really funny. So I'll give it that. Number 39 is Trolls World Tour. Thank goodness that Queen Barb was in this film, because if it wasn't for her, this movie would have been like tied with the first film. Because other than that, this movie, well, and the animation is just amazing. But other than those two things, it's not good. It's just still the same movie as it was last. Also, the plot just feels like it's just trying to copy Infinity War and Endgame, which is less interesting, and it's just not that creative and not that interesting. I mean, who would want to watch a Trolls sequel? And what's worse, we're getting a Trolls 3. I mean, really, thank goodness that the next film that will be coming out after that will be Kung Fu Panda 4, so that's something to be relieved about. Number 38 is Home. So, yeah. This is basically DreamWorks' version of Lilo and Stitch, and honestly, in comparison to which one was better, yes, it's obviously the Disney film, because Home is not that good of a movie. I mean, you have Sheldon from The Big Bang Theory playing an alien, and you have Rihanna playing a teenage girl. And they just go on a crazy adventure filled with some chase scenes, which are fun. I'll give it credit, and it did try to add some heart, but that's all that the movie could do at best. Honestly, it just came off as just kind of just mediocre and just don't really care for it. Number 37 is Turbo. Okay, I'll give it credit. Like, although this is a bad movie, it's actually laughable. It's actually a laughably bad film. It's actually like an enjoyably dumb feature. So yes, it's not a good movie. In fact, it's a so bad that it's actually a good film. Yes, it is a ripoff of Cars and Ratatouille, but it's bad, but it's actually an entertainingly kind of bad, and it's just enjoyable just watching it. Number 36 is Spirit Untamed. Now to be fair, this is not really a follow-up to the 2002 movie. This is actually a follow-up to the Netflix show, which I actually did think like turning one of their Netflix shows into a movie for the big screen is pretty cool. But did it really have to be the Spirit movie? I mean, it should have been a She-Ra film or the Troll Hunters one. That would have been pretty awesome. But no, we got this one. It just came off as kind of boring and dull, and just didn't have any of the amazingness as the 2002 film, which I'll get to pretty soon. So yeah, I mean, it's fine, but at the end of the day, I just don't really care for it. And why was this movie came out 3 weeks before the Boss Baby Family Business? Yeah, what the heck was going on at DreamWorks that year? And number 35 is The Croods: A New Age. I mean, this movie is okay. I'll give it that, but honestly, it's not as good as the first film. I mean, the first film had a lot more heart in comparison to this one. This one was just like a wild, wacky comedy, and it just felt way too zany and for my taste. Yeah, honestly, I don't like this one. Number 34 is The Penguins of Madagascar. I enjoy the penguins, like in the actual Madagascar films, and I did enjoy the TV show growing up, but honestly, they didn't really need to be in their own feature. And honestly, this is gonna sound a bit rude. I thought they were just major dicks to Private in this feature. They were just kind of like sidelighting Private like so much. It just didn't work very well. Yes, the villain was pretty much enjoyable, and I did thought Benedict Cumberbatch was great as the wolf of the North Wind. But other than that, that's all I like about it. Oh, and the animation was a lot of fun, and the action. But other than that, I mean, it's fine for what it is, but nah. Okay, number 33 is Shrek the Third. Okay, now some of you guys are going to be shocked with what I'm about to say, but this was actually the very first film I saw on the big screen. Yeah, I'm not kidding. I thought, yes, this was the very first movie I ever saw in theaters. Although, but even if you put that aside, this film is my least favorite of the Shrek films. But honestly, I kind of have a bit of a soft spot for this one. Yes, it's not a good movie. I can definitely agree with you on that. But I somewhat enjoy it. Somewhat. I mean, there are some moments here that did get a laugh out of me. The animation's still nice, and there are a couple heartwarming moments. But other than that, like, it's not as good as the first two films in my opinion. Number 32 is Captain Underpants. I liked it when I first saw it, but now, like, it's kind of really dumb. Not like the dumb where it's enjoyable. It's like dumb where it's just dumb and it's just very stupid. Like it's made just for kids and that's it. Not as bad as The Boss Baby though. At least it did try. But it shouldn't have been released on the same day as Wonder Woman. There's no doubt there. Number 31 is Abominable. I'll give it this. That title is way too inaccurate. More like intriguing. Sure, it's an okay movie, but for what it does right, it actually does stuff pretty good. There is some really good heart put into it. There's very beautiful animation, and it does have a very nice ending. I'll give it that. The rest of them, it isn't as good as the DreamWorks film that came out beforehand that same year. Okay, coming at number 30 is B-Movie. I'll give it this. This is actually where we're starting to actually get into the pretty good stuff. And B-Movie is actually enjoyable. I do like this one. And it actually is pretty funny. Okay, yes, I know because of the whole memes and stuff, like the "you like jazz" meme. But it actually is a pretty intriguing movie, and I do enjoy it for what it is. Yes, and yes, sure, the courtroom scenes were kind of boring, but I did enjoy the rest of the film, and it actually, and at times I didn't know where it was going, so that's actually pretty good. I like that. Number 29 is The Croods. Now, yes, The Croods are not as good as something like The Flintstones, but in comparison to their films, this is much better. Sure, yes, the first act was good and all, but I did thought, like, the second act, when they got into, like, the jungle, that's when things got very good, and, like, and especially as we moved into the finale. So, yeah. And also, the animation is just great, especially coming from Chris Sanders. Anyways, number 28 is Monsters vs. Aliens. This was actually, one of the first films I saw in 3D, like, in theaters. Back when 3D was actually a huge deal back at that time. And it worked very well here. So yeah. There's some very funny moments. Bob is just hilarious. The animation's great. Like, the action scenes involving, like, the monsters and aliens were pretty cool to watch. So yeah, sure, yeah, there are some flaws here and there, but I personally do enjoy it. And I did like all the whole monster stuff that was happening. Anyways, number 27 is Sinbad Legend of the Seven Seas. I'll say this. This shouldn't have been released. This shouldn't have come out less than a week after Pirates of the Caribbean, The Curse of the Black Pearl. I think we can all agree on that. But either way, this movie would have so bombed anyway. But still. Now, yes, of the two pirate films that I can think of that came out that same year, yes, it's Jack Sparrow's first entry was much better, but I definitely did enjoy this film. As their last hand-drawn animated movie, while not as good as their previous three, I still did enjoy it. What does hold it back is that some of the CGI doesn't age that well, and there are some predictable moments. But other than that, I did enjoy the film, and I did love Michelle Pfeiffer as the villain. I thought she was the highlight of the movie. Number 26 is their first DreamWorks animated feature, Ants. Now, in comparison between this and A Bug's Life, I do think A Bug's Life is better, but I do enjoy it, and I did think this movie, and I did like that this one was a lot darker. I did also love how the bugs were just much bigger, like, in comparison to the ants. I'll give it that. Like, they definitely have, like, a huge amount of size, and, like, how they made, like, the termites, like, scary monsters. Like, whoa. Like, that's pretty terrifying. Yeah. I will admit, like, there are some questions I wish the movie did answer a little bit more on, but other than that, I really did like this one. Although, even if I don't think it's as good as A Bug's Life. Number 25 is Over the Hedge. Now, this was one of my favorites growing up when I was a kid, and I still do like it. Yes, we do have the liar reveal cliche, and there are some predictable moments, but I still definitely enjoy the film. I mean, the soundtrack slaps, the characters are very likable, the voice acting is great, there's some really great comedy, has some really good heart. And of course, this movie has the Verminator. The frickin' Verminator. I'm sorry, I just had to mention him just so Shaperless can have a big smile. So yeah, moving on. Number 24 is Shrek Forever After. Now, unlike Shrek the Third, this one was actually very good. Okay, yes, the first 15 minutes were not that very good, especially the scene where Shrek tells Fiona he wished he never rescued him for the dragon. But other than that, like, after that, like, the rest of the movie is very good, and I definitely did enjoy it. And I was very invested with what was happening. And I actually like this alternate world of Far, Far Away, and I thought it was pretty good. Also, is it just me, or is Fat Puss the inspiration for Fat Thor in Avengers Endgame? Okay, maybe not, but you get what I mean. Like, if that would have just been hilarious. Number 23 is Mr. Peabody and Sherman. Another one that I actually like. So yeah, this is actually one of those movies based off a cartoon. Well, that doesn't have the actual cast from the show. That actually is very good. Like, yeah, there was actually some heart and soul put into it, unlike the Rocky and Bullwinkle movie from 2000 with some really nice animation, great humor, but a lot of intriguing history and some heartwarming moments here and there. Yeah, I like it. The story's a little bit predictable at some points, but the execution really does make up for it. And all the historical figures are just really hilarious. Like Leonardo da Vinci and Patrick Warburton as that Roman guy. I forgot what his name was. But yeah, I like it. Okay, number 22, 21, and 20 is the Madagascar trilogy, where 22 is the first film, 21 is the second film, 20 is the third movie. Yeah, I'm technically like tying them all three because I really like all three of the movies. Like, I grew up with them. Yeah, like the first movie is just a really fun comedy about like a bunch of animals just like going into the wild. Well, okay, they accidentally get themselves shipped to the wild and they go to Madagascar, well, on accident, and then it's just like a fun-filled comedy. The second movie is like them trying to get back, but they end up in Africa where they like try to like connect with their roots. Then the third movie is like them like in a circus while trying to escape the fuzz. Like, it's just a really fun trilogy, just a really great watch. Like, each film is just so much fun to watch, in my opinion. Just yeah, I just can't go wrong if I ever choose to watch the Madagascar movies. I just really like them. Yeah. Okay, coming at number 19 is Flushed Away. Yes, I'm including the Aardman films in this ranking. I forgot to mention that at the start. But yes, while Flushed Away may be my least favorite of the 3 films that DreamWorks produced with Aardman, I really do enjoy this film for what it is. I mean, it's not really saying much when I made that statement. I mean, sure, I wish it was claymation because it would have fit the designs a little bit better, but the rest of the movie is just fantastic. I mean, there's just really great humor, great voice acting, some good solid performances, and it was just a lot of fun just watching it. Like, it's just a really fun movie, especially like plus, and also it's nice that this film wasn't ripping off Ratatouille, like, because I'm glad they made like its own thing, so we don't have to like compare it to Ratatouille. Sure, the only thing that both films have in common is that they have rats. That's it. Okay, coming at number 18 is Megamind. Now, speaking of comparing movies, like, this does have a similar premise to Despicable Me, but what makes this one much different is that everything that you see in the marketing, like in the trailer, that was like in like the first act of the movie. Like, after that, after he quote unquote, after Megamind quote unquote kills Metro Man, he actually gets bored and like decides to like create a new hero with Titan, and I thought that worked very well, and I thought it was just so much fun. Like, it's funny, it's hilarious. Will Ferrell is just awesome in the role. Has a lot of great jokes. Like, I didn't get where it was going. I didn't see where it was going in some scenes, and it was just a lot of fun. It's just a really funny movie. It's just one I really enjoy watching, especially with my family. So yeah. Okay, number 17 is Puss in Boots, the first one. Yeah. Yeah, this is a great film. Like I really do enjoy this movie. Like, of course, there's just a lot of fun stuff to be had with Puss in Boots. Yeah, like the animation's spot on, although the sequel does have much better animation, maybe because of the whole Spider-Verse essence. Get to that pretty soon. There's some really good characters in here, like Puss himself and Humpty Dumpty. Some really great action scenes, and a pretty solid story despite being used from other films, although it's more of a heist story. Yeah, I do like it, and I like it's more action-packed and epic, like unlike the Shrek films where those movies are more comedy. So I like that they're trying its own thing. Although this movie does have some comedy in here. So yeah, I really do like it. Number 16 is Kung Fu Panda 3. It may be my least favorite of the trilogy, but I really do enjoy it. I really like Kung Fu Panda 3. I say like what holds it back, like for being as good as the first was that I do think it is a bit way too comedic, like, but the jokes are still funny for what they are. But other than that, I really do like Kung Fu Panda 3. Like, I like how it still continues Poe's story, where he's meeting where he's actually meeting his biological father, where it's continuing from the last film, along with having like a really great villain with Kai, voiced by J.K. Simmons. Mr. Ping is actually at his best here. I wish we got a bit more of Dustin Hoffman, but as Shifu, and I wish we got a bit more of the Furious 5 aside from Tigress. But other than that, I really thought. But other than that, I really liked Kung Fu Panda 3, and I did also like the new pandas that they met, and I also like how they go into like the development of Chi. Like I thought that was like very cool, especially with Chinese mythology. Yeah, great job. Number 15 is Chicken Run. Yeah, Aardman's first full-length animated feature, because for this film, all they did were just shorts, mainly Wallace and Gromit. But when they decided to make their first movie, it turned out to be a success. In fact, it's still the highest grossing stop-motion film to this day. Complete with the stop-motion animation is just beautiful. Like the acting is great. Yes, even Mel Gibson did a pretty good job. Like the story is very intense and gripping. And he just had you at the edge of your seat from start to finish, leading to an amazing climax. Yeah, Chicken Run's just a great film and one of the best stop-motion films ever made. Number 14 is Rise of the Guardians. It's kind of funny that there was this weird phase back in the early 2010s. Like there was like this where we had like movies with the title Guardian on them. Legend of the Guardians, Owls of Ga'Hoole, this film, and Guardians of the Galaxy. Although that one's the more common of the three nowadays, because that actually got its own official trilogy. Although the third film to that one's not out yet. Okay, I'm getting off track here. Back to this film. Yeah, Rise of the Guardians is very awesome in my opinion. I mean, it's like bringing all these childhood favored mythical beings together and come into one awesome movie. And I thought, man, like that's awesome, and I just have an awesome time while watching it. Yeah, the action scenes are awesome. Like the characters are very memorable, and Pitch is just a really excellent villain. I just really like Pitch. So yeah, another great film from DreamWorks, and I just love it. Okay, number 13 is my favorite of the Aardman films DreamWorks produced with, and possibly their best stop-motion film, Wallace and Gromit: The Curse of the Were-Rabbit. So yeah, yes, who doesn't love Wallace and Gromit? And this film is just great. Like the animation's spot on. The Wallace and Gromit themselves are still lovable, and I like how it's more of a parody to horror monster films. It does get scary at some scenes, and like that's good. Like we're trying something different, and I like that. So yeah, very great film in my opinion. Okay, number 12 is Spirit Stallion of the Cimarron. Like, it's a shame that not many people are talking about this one, because this is such a beautiful movie. Like, it's heartwarming, it's gut-punching, it's very sad. It's a movie. Yes, I know the whole Matt Damon narration can kind of annoy some people, but honestly, it's not as bad as the non-stop dialogue from Walking with Dinosaurs. This is much better. At least it knows when to use it. I'll give it, at least in my opinion. Yes. On top of having some very beautiful animations with some nice horse riding action. Yeah. Great job, DreamWorks. This one is amazing. Speaking of their hand-drawn works, number 11 is The Road to El Dorado. Another fantastic film from DreamWorks, which was a shame that it was not as well liked at the time, because thank goodness that as time went on, the movie did found its way into pop culture and to become a fan favorite, because truly is one of my favorites growing up, and I definitely love this one. The songs by Elton John and Tim Rice were great, even though it's similar to Tarzan, where Elton John sings the songs. Tulio and Miguel are just great characters, thanks to the performances by Kevin Kline and Kenneth Branagh. Like, it has like a really great story about the relationship between the two, and like also has some very beautiful animation. I just love the Road to El Dorado. It's one of my favorites growing up, and definitely one of those animated films on Rotten Tomatoes that shouldn't have been in the Rotten section. It definitely should be like in the certified fresh area. Alright, now we enter the top 10. Number 10, we have Shrek, the very first Shrek, and I love Shrek. What else can I say? This movie made Smash Mouth a hit name. You have Mike Myers, Eddie Murphy, and Cameron Diaz, all giving just great performances. It's funny, it's hilarious, it's Shrek. You love Shrek. I don't think I need to explain how great this movie is. We all love Shrek. You love Shrek, I love Shrek. Moving on. Number 9 is The Bad Guys. The Bad Guys is a hilarious DreamWorks film. Like, this is definitely brought DreamWorks back on the map this year. Well, this and another one that's about to come up, but still, like, The Bad Guys is just fantastic. Like the Spider-Verse animation style is great. It's very hilarious. There's some really good characters with some fantastic voice acting. It has a pretty catchy song like in the middle of the film. And I will admit, although the villain twist, I wasn't like a fan of who the villain actually is. I will admit, I did not see who was coming, because I thought it was going to be Mr. Snake, but it actually wasn't. It actually was the guinea pig, and I thought, okay, I did not see that coming. I actually didn't see it coming. So for me personally, it caught me off guard. So yeah, I liked it. Okay, number 8 is Kung Fu Panda, the very first Kung Fu Panda. I just love this movie, in my opinion. Like, definitely one of my favorites from DreamWorks, and it's just an awesome film, and definitely one that shouldn't have worked with its stupid premise, but it turned out to be a fantastic movie. Like, Jack Black gave an awesome performance as Po. Actually, everyone in the cast did. This fantastic action. Tai Lung's actually much better of a villain than most people point him out to be, even if he is somewhat of an Anakin Skywalker copy at times. There's a lot of exciting action sequences, some very funny moments here and there, and it definitely has a great message on learning what the secret ingredient is, where there really isn't a secret ingredient. I thought that works very well. It's just you. Yeah. All in all, great job, DreamWorks. Like, definitely one of my favorites growing up. Alright, number 7 is the latest DreamWorks animated film, and that's Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. Like, I was very surprised at how good this one turned out to be. Like, excuse me, that's just my mom back there. But anyways, but yes, Puss in Boots: The Last Wish was very damn good. I was really shocked at how good this movie actually was. Like, because when I saw the reviews, like, is it really that good? Because I feel like everyone's possibly like exaggerating. So I was a little bit concerned when going in, but I was very impressed. Like, the Spider-Verse animation was amazing. Like the cast was just amazing. I'm not gonna spoil what happens in this film, because just, my god, like, this movie was like very amazing. It actually was very thought-provoking in some scenes, and the wolf is like one of the most terrifying villains I've ever seen in an animated film in a long time. Like, my god, every time he was on screen, I was just tensed up and terrified. I haven't felt that terrified when watching an animated film in quite a while. I have been terrified like in some cartoons recently, like with the Amphibia and the Owl House, but never once was I terrified, like, in an animated feature, until this film. So yeah, they definitely did that right. Like, good job, DreamWorks. Like, but yes, the rest of the movie was also fantastic as well, and I just really enjoyed it. It was even funny. Like, there was even like some very unexpected adult humor in this film. Like, it's actually like the main reason like why that, and also like the scary moments with the wolf that actually made it earn its PG rating. So yeah, That's something that modern Hollywood's lacking these days. So glad it has it. And speaking of sequels to a certain franchise, number 6 is Shrek 2. Yeah, Shrek 2 is an awesome movie. Like, this is definitely my favorite of the Shrek films, and it always has been. Like it definitely continues the story of the Shrek films very well. Like what happens after Happily Ever After, where like Shrek and Fiona are meeting the parents, and I just thought it was just a lot of, just very damn cool. Packed with some really, with a lot of hilarious moments, amazing new characters like Puss in Boots, Fairy Godmother, and Prince Charming, along with an awesome soundtrack, especially the I Need a Hero. I mean that version of I Need a Hero is just awesome to listen to. Yeah, I can listen to that one all the time. Yeah. Oh no, I just love Shrek 2. It's my favorite of the Shrek movies, and definitely one of DreamWorks' bests. Okay, number 5, How to Train Your Dragon, the first one. Just, yeah, I love How to Train Your Dragon. Now, as a kid, my brother would watch this movie a lot. It did kind of annoy me, like, a bit about that, but as I got older, I started to, like, really love the film over and over again. Yeah, How to Train Your Dragon is a phenomenal movie. Yes, it's technically a boy and its pet story, but it's beautifully executed with the bond between Hiccup and Toothless, complete with some beautiful flying scenes, along with great visual, along with beautiful animation, amazing characters, a powerful score, and just and it's all around just an amazing film, and definitely like the best fantasy film to come out since The Lord of the Rings: Return of the King, at least at the time when this was released. Okay, number 4 is DreamWorks' best hand-drawn animated feature, The Prince of Egypt, which is in my opinion the best non-Disney animated musical. This is such an amazing feature. Yes, it took the story of Exodus and executed beautifully, complete with an engaging story while making it feel fresh and new at the same time. Beautiful animation, a cast of great characters, and fantastic songs by the same lyricist who did the songs for Pocahontas and The Hunchback of Notre Dame, Stephen Schwartz. Yeah, just, oh no, this is a fantastic movie, and I'm glad this movie's been getting more recognition these days, because personally, I love it. Okay, number 3 is my favorite of the Kung Fu Panda films, Kung Fu Panda 2. Of course, it was originally a trilogy, but now we're going to get the 4th movie, which, after seeing Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, I'm now excited for that. But back into this film. Kung Fu Panda 2 is excellent. Like, it definitely continued on what made people love about the first film. Like, going more to Poe's origin story, there's a lot more intense action sequences. Yeah. The characters get more development, and of course, Lord Shen is just the best DreamWorks villain. I mean, Lord Shen definitely carried the whole movie, and I just love Lord Shen. Wish this film did win best animated feature at the Oscars, but what are we gonna do? But still, I was glad the film was nominated anyway. Okay, speaking of 2s, number 2 I have How to Train Your Dragon 2. This is like an epic sequel. Like, it definitely took everything what was amazing about the first film and expanded it very well. Like it continued on the story very well by introducing Hiccup's mom. Like, there's a lot more intense action scenes. I was surprised, like, when I first saw this film that Stork was killed off. Like, that was just very dark. I was not seeing it coming. This is basically the Empire Strikes Back of How to Train Your Dragon, although this film does somewhat have a happy ending, despite the consequences that come with it. Although, both good and bad. Oh. Yeah. How to Train Your Dragon 2 is such an epic sequel, and I just love it. But it's not as good as my number 1. Okay, actually, it is on par. This one's on par with my number 1, but my number 1 is the 3rd film, How to Train Your Dragon: The Hidden World. Yes, in my personal opinion, this is the best movie to come out of DreamWorks Animation, and I thought it was such an excellent conclusion to the How to Train Your Dragon franchise. Like, they definitely concluded it very well. Yes, I know we do have the whole Dragons of the Nine Realms thing, which I'm not watching because why would I? Because I'm just gonna pretend that doesn't exist and that this is the true ending of the franchise. Like, this is like the best place to stop in terms of the How to Train Your Dragon franchise. And it was just beautiful in terms of the main movies. Yeah, it was a lot. It was intense. It was exciting. It was heartwarming, and this, alongside Avengers Endgame, was pretty much like like the best things in terms of like franchise conclusions in 2019. Yes, I know the MCU is still going, but in terms of Endgame, that was the end of the Infinity Saga. Yeah. But yes, all in all, I love how Training Dragon: The Hidden World, and it's not only one of my favorite films of 2019, but it's definitely the best movie of the DreamWorks library. All right, that's gonna wrap it up for my DreamWorks ranking video. Let me know what your ranking is down below in the comments.